Good morning and welcome to Planet Mojo. I am here on our top lot, our new land. I'm right by the utilities box, and I'm about to start assessing what the land looks like, the upper portion here, the field. We just had it mowed last night, and I've never really actually looked at it closely. So I'm going to do that right now. I still need to get in here and brush whack this. He couldn't get, well, he could have gotten closer, but the guy who did the brush whacking used I believe it's a 20-foot batwing brush whacker or bushwhacker. Yeah, whatever. I always get the two mixed up. But anyways, it's a huge machine. The wings fold up when they're done. So he probably made, I don't know, 5 passes, but I think some of the passes were just touching up what he already did, because this field isn't that large. Large enough, it's an acre or so, maybe an acre and a half, but not many passes with a machine that big. And this is what it does to small trees, just demolishes them. But I need to get in here and pick this stuff up so my daughter can come through with the zero turn and do a better job on, hacking this down to ground level. You got all these little stumps. It looks like he cut this at 6 to 8 inches or so. And I believe this is probably an anthill. Nope. Just a dirt clod that must have came off the tractor tire. But I would need to get rid of that as well. I'll have to come in here with the gator and pick some of this stuff up. My daughter got a look at this and she's all excited to use the upper part for jumping the horse, because it's nice and flat and nice and wide. I'm kind of excited about planting. We're going to plant a row of bur oaks all along the road here. The oaks are on order. They'll get here next year, next spring. But this year I'm going to drill the holes that they're going to go into, amend the soil a bit, put it back in the hole, and wait for next year. Mark it and wait for next year. We have a heavy clay soil here, so I want to get some gypsum in it and some potassium and phosphorus nice and down deep so that they'll get a really good start. Real nice deep root system. Wow, that one's pretty big. Just hack that sucker right off. But I'll have to get in here and cut that down to ground level. I'm dodging raindrops right now. The big bulk of the morning rain has passed us, but it's supposed to rain the rest of the day. In just any minute now, it could start raining again. This is the shared well. This is 450 feet deep. You can kind of see from up here how high we are on the ridge, but actually what you're seeing is the next ridge over, and then another ridge, and then another ridge after that, and then way off in the distance, that's, I believe that's Bayer Hill, but that's a really big ridge up that way. It's either a ridge or a hollow around here. There's almost no flat ground anywhere. Take a look in here. Nope, it's stuck. Oh, I got some wasps right there. They must have taken it over. But this is the shared well, and I can see that the tank is right here. And you can see that the ground has really subsided around the tank. So I'm going to have to get some fill in here and level this off. We have a fund that is paid by all the people on the well, which is now just 3 people. And that will be used for it. It's subsided here as well. This is the curb stop for this lot. And there should be a valve. The curb stop valve should be around here. But then it has this this valve coming to the surface. We had a similar one at our barn before we moved in there, and we hooked our water up to it. And then in the fall we had to siphon back down to the valve underground and get that water out of there so it didn't freeze. But this is the area where she wants to jump her horse. Nice and flat running through here. Right alongside my new trees. So all in all, it's a bit lumpy in here. And like there's a nice dip right here. But if this is made into pasture or prairie grass, it really won't matter. This can be disked up and planted in the spring, or I can just toss seed right now and call it a day. I'll take a look at the new neighbors. Yeah, there's the dozer. And I guess these stakes are where they're going to put the house. It's kind of surrounded by the trees here. But they have trees really close to where a house would be. But who knows? From what I remember, I think he's a city planner. But I might be totally wrong on that. But I think that's what he said. We haven't talked to him in a few years, other than to say hello on the road and, you know, how you doing? So this field looks pretty damn nice. Yeah, it's probably not worth having it tilled up and planted. I can probably get by just seeding this fall with prairie, or either prairie grass or pasture grass. We'll probably start with pasture grass, and then have the whole thing sprayed by one of the local sprayers, and with 2,4-D, and knock down all these weeds and grapevines and stuff, and then just keep it mowed. Be a nice backup pasture, at least for now. I'd kind of like to turn it into a prairie, but we'll see what we need. So I will need to get down here and get rid of some of these trees, or really I should get rid of all of the trees that are on this side of the fence. But that'll probably have to wait. See, we got a ledge right here, and it follows through over that way. And my best guess is that it's at the exact same height as the rocks that I've showed you before behind the house. that this is that layer of the ridge. If you were to dig down here, I'm going to bet you would hit boulders right there. There's not a huge amount of soil here before you hit the top of the ridge here. So all of this stuff needs to come out. We need to at least be able to get to the fence here, but I would like to get beyond, because it's actually flatter in the woods here than it is out here. I really want to be able to see what we have in there, and I want to get rid of all of this buckthorn and stuff. There's buckthorn right there, and from my last walk in there, the whole thing's infested with it. I really want to walk along this fence and finish checking out this field, but I think I'm going to dip into the woods at using this as a guide. This comes from the pin. We know where that pin is. Not exactly sure if this is in the right space or not, or in the right place or not. But if I follow along this line into the woods right there, I'm hoping I can find the far corner. Let's see if it's laying on the ground. Like you can see right here, the plastic tag laying on the ground. Sometimes you can still find them on the tree, even though it's been, I think this was assessed, or not assessed, but laid out in 2003, and it was completed in 2004. We bought in 2004. All right, I'll get back to this corner in a second. I'm going to take a quick run in there and look for that corner. Well, I'm back in here, and you don't have to come too far into the woods before you hit the ravine, and it's much deeper than I thought it would be right here, because it shallows up enough right up this way. Well, it's 300 feet or so. It shallows up enough where you can drive right across it with a gator. This, you could absolutely not do that. It's probably 15 feet deep right here. But I have no idea where the corner should be, right in here somewhere. But it could be on the other side for all I know. And I really don't want to go over there and go through all this mud to look around for it. It's not that important right now. But it really would be nice to get this cleared out in here. Get rid of, there's invasive species everywhere. This place is just a mess. Get some of this stuff cleared out and try to restore this area all the way back to where I've started the Oak Savanna project behind the house. That would be a really nice addition, but we'll see. Leave that for next year. Yeah, I was really hoping there would be a flag back in here somewhere, but I get the feeling that the corner might be right in the middle of this ravine here, which will make things really difficult, because any kind of a marker, permanent marker you put there, is subject to washout. You can see that there's water in this thing right now, which if you've seen the videos of the last couple days, it's really unusual to see water in these ditches, but we've had a lot of rain lately. Okay, the corner of the field up here is right back there. I popped out over here because I came to look at some of these trees over here. There's an apple tree in there, buried in the woods. I think it's still got a little life left in it, but it kind of shows you where the edge of the woods was not too long ago. This right here is just a ton of aspens, a colony, which really has to go. Got some walnut here, which also has to go. Yeah, we plan to take down that fence, but we're just going to take the barbed wire down. We're going to leave the T-posts there and string them with horse fence wire and put tops on the posts for the horses. And then we'll get rid of all of these trees on this side of the fence. Yeah, so I got to get down here. This is the old path that I made. And the new path is a little bit wider. So I will need to get down here. Now that the light is going to be at this, I really got to get some seed on these more bare areas so that I get something growing there before it washes out. And these aspen really need to and these aspen, especially these ones right in the field here, really need to go. Yeah, I wish I could find that road that, well, maybe I can see a little better now. He got the mower. I told him to get as close as he could to the woods, but he couldn't. He's using a giant tractor. So, like, he couldn't get into this stuff. He would have had to back in, and he would have dug up the ground like crazy. I mean, the ground was a bit wet for mowing, but it just worked for him. So we kind of worked around his schedule. He did it for us pretty damn cheap, so he's a pretty nice guy. Got a black oak here, which can possibly stay. Not really sure what that is, but it kind of looks like a mulberry. Really don't want that either. This is a pretty big walnut for a field walnut. I'm not sure how that works out in the scheme of things as far as oak savannas go. This looks like it. Maybe not. Kind of looks fairly clear in there, like this could have been the road, but no. I will find that. It'll become pretty apparent as the leaves start falling off the trees and some of the weeds start dying back. I found some roads down in the hollow on our neighbor's land at that time of year that you would never see this time of year. Big. Oh, that's a bee nest, a ground bee nest. It's a pretty big one. I should probably leave them alone. My brother-in-law got attacked by ground bees, which most bees are ground bees. Oh, this looks like, yeah, this is the road right here. You can see the tracks here. They put the fence up fairly recent to when we bought the land. Oh, it was maybe 10 years earlier, and it was logged. Our estimate was maybe 35 years ago. This whole top area was logged pretty well. So I think this is where it is. It kind of looks like it, but again, I'll be able to tell in the fall. Yeah, see his, that big old tractor left a few divots, but yeah, see, this looks like it as well. This whole area right through here, that is nice and clear right through there, so I'll have my daughter explore it. Yeah, we have a nice spreading walnut right here. It's a beautiful tree. I just don't know if it works with a oak savanna restoration. But there's one right here and a fair-sized one right here. But we don't want to create a forest. We want savanna, so we don't want a whole lot of trees. And oaks take precedence. Yeah, this area that I cleared earlier is not it. Yeah, I mean, there's a nice hump right here, so absolutely not the road right here. I'm thinking it is right there between them two trees. The two trees were probably left there because they were right on the side of the road. Yeah, and he fenced here because it's another dip in the land. Yeah, there's very little in here of any age. These trees here are, I don't know, they could only be 20 years old or possibly even less. So he was probably still grazing cattle back in here right before he sold the land. The farmer who owned this land is a relative of one of my daughter's friends, who actually rides with her on this land. Pretty much everybody knows everybody and is related in some way to somebody else from around here. It's a small community. Yeah, I will have to get in here and cut quite a few trees. I'm not sure where that's going to be on my priority list. The biggest priorities are getting the roads connected in there next year and get the savanna done. The pastures I was working on this year now become less of a priority because we have grass right here for the horses next year, so it's not a big rush to get that completed. The pastures we have down there is enough to feed the horses, but with this as a buffer, that job can be spread out over a couple of years instead of rush on it. But there's quite a bit to do here as far as getting rid of little trees. I mean, we're going to have some big fires cutting this stuff down. There's a lot of wood in there. Alright, this is a red oak right here. Just a straight up red oak, which can be in a savanna, but again, right around here somewhere is going to be where the last bur oak along the road is planted. And I would kind of like to get one in this area, so that will probably go, but maybe not. It's a good sized tree, and it has a bunch of low branches, and it's already got a good start, and it blocks the house from those neighbors up there. So, and now we got a new neighbor going there, but he has his own blockage. Decisions. And finally, this area here, Like I said, the last bur oak, they're going to come in a line along the road here. The last one will go in here somewhere, but I would like to get another one right in here if I can. But we also have a road coming through here from our little platform behind the barn. It's going to come through here and then connect up with the main road, so we have a loop. So I think I'll lay all that out this fall and winter, and I'll have plenty of tasks for next year. Yeah, we don't want to remove too much stuff right away and then have a clear view of the neighbors. That would totally suck. So for now, I just got some cleanup to do. Some brush whacking, a few trees to cut, a little bit of raking and toss some seeds, and that area is good to go for the winter. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel and have yourself a great day.